The demand for electricity has been on the rise for the past decade, driven by the rapid growth being experienced by key sectors like infrastructure and oil and gas. Today, India is the world's third largest producer of power. The country's installed power generation capacity has grown from 124 gigawatt in 2006 to 374 gigawatt in 2020. The peak demand for electricity in 2019-20 was around 177 gigawatt. A healthy and financially viable power sector is dependent on an efficient and vibrant distribution sector comprising electricity distribution companies. This represents a symbiotic relationship in which the growth of the power sector is inextricably linked to the commercial viability of DISCOMs. Coal continues to be a dominant component of the electricity mix. This situation is unlikely to change radically, and by 2030, it is expected that the overall generation efficiency of coal-powered plants connected to the national grid will be around 36%. Realizing the seriousness of the problem, the central government, along with various state governments, has launched multiple programs and schemes with a view to reducing AT&C losses and improving the operational efficiency and financial health of DISCOMs. The Ujjwal DISCOM Assurance Yojana is one such program, initiated with the objective of reducing AT&C losses to 15%. The PAT scheme was launched against the backdrop of the National Action Plan on Climate Change under the National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. The implementation plan for NMEEE was drawn up by the Ministry of Power and the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. A market-based mechanism called Perform, Achieve and Trade was launched. The key objective of the PAT scheme is to reduce specific energy consumption and improve energy efficiency. On the directions of the Prime Minister's Council, the PAT scheme was extended to 3 new sectors: Indian Railways, petroleum refineries and electricity distribution companies or DISCOMs. Accordingly, DISCOMs with AT&C losses of 86,000 metric tons of oil equivalent and above were notified as designated consumers. 44 DISCOMs were brought under the purview of the EC Act. The overall transmission and distribution loss reduction target for all 44 DISCOMs was 54 billion units. The DISCOMs finally achieved an admirable performance demonstrating an energy savings of 32 billion units, resulted in the reduction of around 25.76 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions. It meant savings in energy consumption worth 11,000 crore rupees.
For decades, the DISCOM sector has grappled the burden of AT&C losses. The pursuit of energy savings targets set by the PAT scheme compelled the industry to look at the problem with a fresh perspective, and various technological interventions were leveraged to enhance energy efficiency across our plants.
Some of the key technological interventions that eventually delivered significant savings in energy consumption include the replacement of non-star rated transformers, systems upgrades along with the automation of key processes, improvement of the metering systems, elimination of the incidence of unaccounted energy by replacing faulty or slow-running consumer energy meters, improvement of the power factor of 33 kV feeders.
Distribution sector is most important link in the power sector value chain. It provides the interface between the end consumers and also provides the revenue for the entire value chain. The high T&D losses of this sector posing the biggest challenge for the reforms in the power sector. In this context, the Government of India has initiated many schemes like UDAY, Integrated Power Development Scheme, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana. In line with this, the Government of India has also included DISCOMs into the PAT scheme. 44 electricity distribution companies are included into the PAT Cycle 2. and the targets are given for reducing the T&D losses. I am happy to share here that all these 44 electricity distribution companies have saved the energy of 32 billion unit, having a worth of 11,000 crore rupees.
The PAT Cycle 2 outcomes have clearly proved that going ahead, DISCOMs will be able to significantly reduce AT&C losses. At the same time, increase energy efficiency across their operations. Towards energy efficiency, towards reductions in carbon emissions, towards viable operations, towards strengthening support to India's power sector, towards creating a cleaner environment for future generations. India's DISCOM sector standing strong in the battle against climate change.